Sometimes art is prophetic, and sometimes I don't know how to offset it. The words too authentic to constantly do what I do and augment it. Y'all talk a big game, can't tell if y'all meant it. As seconds turns to minutes, the ticking will tell all. Will you hold firm or steadily fall? Will you conform with the ways of the world, or will you give the world everything that you are? Make them fuckers move around you, kinda like sound do. Break out of everything that they had you bound to. You got knocked down, ho, get ready for round two. It's round two. Get ready for round two. Come back, run rap, run laps around these cats, jump back, kiss myself, still keeping me intact. Weird and black, they for that, hold up, steer it back. Weird and black, they revere that, yup, you hear that?
Turnstile, switch it up. Young nigga raised hard, he learned not to give a fuck. Young nigga came far, still never give enough. Coming with the flavor, delicious, so she lick it up. Bust down, stick it up, I put it down, so pick it up. Scud town, saviors, done some till he shift to musk. Stench so stank that the shit compares soft to us. Crud so dank, make your face smell dripping, cuz club go shake when the bass gets to hitting ya. They ain't really hearing us, but they gon' feel something when the way is paved clear enough. I don't fear nothing but the fate is God real or not. Well, fuck it, got the world in my hands, and that's real enough. Fuck it, got the world in my hands, gold forms to touch. Might just spend it all one time to give it all to us. Yeah, give it all to us.
Yeah. This that hip-hop body rock, hardcore karate chop, neo-Nazi nasty, not feel it in my chest. How could you wear that name? Must be automatic shame. He's an automatic lame, heard it from the best. Fresh flow, let's go, plus I got a lot of heart. It's necessary when you dabble in this art. Grab canvas, paint picture, use them acrylics, paint a picture so vivid the people gotta feel it like the Kaaba. Lyrics bear fruit like guava, words spilling out of my brain like lava. Spills out the top of a volcano, and they know that A-Right is not the one to play. No, I'm Kano in Mortal Kombat, cause the lyrics like blades. Aim it at your jugular when I'm on stage. Until you heard me spit, homie, you ain't heard rage. On another chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it, how I do it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. My crew's the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of roses I make bumping in your system. I mean, banging it, and I'm still hanging in it. I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms. I got a lot of soul, I found the pot of gold. I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need it. And I want you to succeed, I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample for me, so get up.
the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game. You're tripping. How you high? No, it is Super Bowl time.
I don't know what we're doing in the front office, man. Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches. What is going on, folks? Welcome back. Internet. Snap for the review.
And I'm your other wonderful co-host, Malin Dennis.
And I'm your other great co-host, all the way from Sarasota. Sorry to tell you guys, there's been an outage, a mass outage here in Sarasota, so it's a little strange, but I'm getting through it.
Yes, he's in the dark down there, but he's here, ladies and gentlemen. He's still
Yeah.
made it happen.
He ain't paid a light bill. Don't let nobody. Oh, yeah.
Gentlemen, are we going to take a collective shot here?
Hell yeah, we are.
Get this bottle open. What are you guys
Well, there's no point in me telling you because you can't see it either way, but it's a doers.
That's right.
It's a doers, man. I got some Jack Daniels triple mash. Love that stuff.
I am Woodford.
What are you playing with over there?
This is just Woodford that was sitting in the studio for a very long time. I'm finally actually opening this.
Oh, okay. Looked like you were playing with your dinghy.
My dinghy.
Yeah, I'm hearing from the fans a little bit that they can't hear you right now, Jalen.
Can't hear me at all?
That's what the fans are saying.
That's pretty good.
Might make the show better. I don't know. No. We can't hear Jalen. We can't see Nestor. What a bunch of monkeys trying to help a football we are right now.
Anyway, for the time being, let's take our shot. I'll figure out my own audio. And
Beautiful. I love it. I'm just going to assume that Nestor's drinking his right now.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Malin, since nobody can hear me, would like to tell the people at home how they can when and where they can find our live stream.
That is a great segue, Jalen. Okay, so people can find us at YouTube. They can find us on TikTok, AFR. I don't know the actual handle. I've never done this part before. Never done segue promo. But we are live on TikTok. We post a lot of videos out there for you guys, asking you guys a lot of questions. I would say that about 85% of you guys give really good responses. Some of you should just get off the internet altogether. But YouTube, that is the place. Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
So you can catch the podcast. It'd be, except if you listen on Spotify, it'll be just like if you're trying to watch Nestor right now. You're not going to see any faces. Because it's just a podcast. There's no live video. And so we're giving you a little taste of what Spotify would look like. But that's about where you can find us. Melheim's Media is the outlet on YouTube that you want to look up. You want to try to find us. We're there every single week. This is episode, I believe, 155. If I'm not mistaken, we've been around for a minute. People put up with us. We appreciate that. So
That's how I used to listen to the show on Spotify, in the car. But now that I don't have a car, just watch YouTube.
Doesn't look like you have much of anything right now, Nestor. I don't know what the hell's happening down there in Sarasota.
There's a lot.
Yeah, so I can hear on Discord like but anyway, let's just hop into the recap. Thank you for that. Getting
That's
into
pretty
the
terrible.
3 recap. Let's start off that the Bengals outlasted the Rams on Monday Night Football, 19-16 was the final score. Nestor, let's start with you. How optimistic should the Bengals fans be at this point in their season?
I would probably say I keep it at a 4 or a 3 out of 10 because I watched that game. There was nothing special about Cincinnati for me. Nothing special about what Burrow did. I think the Rams defense had him pretty locked in. I don't know. It was a kind of like a really slow game until I kind of like if you watch the game, Burrow was passing it to Chase, kind of like for like what like these short little passes on the left. There wasn't a whole lot going on. Yeah, Mixon did rush in for the touchdown, but other than that, there's nothing that makes me think this team is going to the Super Bowl. To be honest with you, it's the same mediocre ball that they've been playing, and I'm not seeing Burrow's healthy, but I'm not seeing anything special from this team. So, um, 4 out of 10 for me.
Okay. Malin?
I mean, is Burrow healthy though? Like, we're just because he played doesn't mean he's healthy. It just means that he knows
That's
that if
true.
you go 0-3, that then you're pretty much sunk. It's hard for me to get a read on that on that game between the Rams and the Bengals because that's the same Rams team that beat the brakes off my Seahawks. But they're sitting here, 2-1 after 3 weeks. So I don't really. Are you talking about optimism level or like negativity level?
Optimism.
Optimism, man. My optimism is probably only about a 3 right now. To be honest with you, with the Bengals, and I was really high on the Bengals to start. Okay, but Burrow is completing a damn near league low 55% of his passes right now. He's not mobile. The offensive line can't protect him. Okay. Mixon is barely averaging 4 yards a carry, but he's not even getting the ball that much. He's got 45 carries in 3 games. And he's supposed to be one of like the last like 20-touch bell cow running backs that we have left, right? How does Higgins go week 1 without even a target? That man needs to bring back number 85 and stop this 5 bullshit. Jamar Chase got a lot of touches last game, but that's because he was yelling at his quarterback, telling him to give him the ball. They did not do a lot in that game to win 19-16 against a Rams team that is not nearly as talented as they were just a couple years ago. So I would be concerned about Burrow's calf. He can't get away from the rush. He looks pedestrian being the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And pedestrian is about as good as you can call the football he's playing right now. He needs to play a hell of a lot better to justify that $55 million a year. So I don't know. I was really high on him. I had them winning that division. But they just, even outside of Burrow being hard, they just don't seem right, Jalen. They just seem clunky when you watch that team play. They don't seem together.
Yeah. I Apparently, people still can't hear me. I have absolutely no idea why. So I'll keep my answer short. I'm at a 5. The only reason I'm 2 points above you guys is because this is kind of what they do every year is a slow start. So not full panic yet, but besides that, the way that Burrow's talking about his injury does not sound very promising. It's a bit fearful for them.
You want me to kind of MC the topic so that people know what topics we're talking about?
Yeah,
Since you can't hear you.
Go into the
Okay. You keep working on you, boo. We got
do.
this. Can't hear you, can't see Nestor. Unfortunately, people can see me, so that's terrible. So speaking of people not being able to hear or see, the Vikings find themselves at 0-3 after the Chargers whooped them 28-24. So who should we be more worried about? The Chargers with the loss of Mike Williams for another year, losing one of their top players to a season-ending injury, or the Vikings fans still not having a win for a team that was just 13-4 last year? What do you think, Nestor?
I am still not sure about this because you have the Chargers, obviously without Mike Williams, but it's not just that they give up so many. Their pass defense is awful. They are coached so bad. I forget the coach's name, but I think he's so I don't know. He's just bad.
Staley?
The only yeah. Um, the only good thing they got going for them is some of the receivers are good. And then of course the quarterback. Um, but I just they're gonna continue to carry this problem uh throughout the whole season, probably into the next one if they don't do something. So um the Vikings, I don't know what's going on with them. Maybe they don't have any depth in that offense. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe they need a better running game because right now it's maybe non-existent. Um, I have no idea what's happening with them. Right now, I would, man, I if I was a Chargers fan, I'd be really worried. I'd be more worried for the Chargers because this is more of a long-term problem. But Vikings more this season, more in the short term. They need to fix something because they got Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins isn't bad. A good quarterback. They need to figure something out quick.
Yeah, I agree with you on the premise of the Chargers being worried like long term. The reason why I think I'd be concerned about being a Minnesota Vikings fan is that you can't really figure out why they're losing. Right, your quarterback is completing damn near 70% of his passes. He has 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Right. Madison, like you're not running the ball great, but you're still averaging 4 yards a carry with your run game. Justin Jefferson is still popping off right now, even though he only has 1 touchdown. The defense, I don't understand why the defense is as sluggish as they are. They can't play consistently. They can play great for 2 quarters. They can play great for 3 quarters. They have 1 bad quarter, and all of a sudden you're looking up at the scoreboard and you're like, well, how the hell are the Vikings losing? Like, how did they lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers week 1 with Baker Ball? Like, I think it comes down to turnovers. Really, I think they have 7 turnovers in 3 games. And they're turning it over at the worst possible time. So, can they flip it on a dime and all of a sudden be better? Yes. But could this luck continue to happen for them? Yes. I mean, they're losing in a lot of different ways right now. And for a team that was supposed to capitalize on the Packers not having Aaron Rodgers, they are flailing out of the gate. So I would be very concerned not having a win so far being the Vikings.
Yeah, I think people at home can hear me now. G Money, if you can hear me, let me know in the chat. But yeah, there's a lot of concern with the Vikings. I think the Chargers, they'll figure it out like they do seemingly every year. But the Vikings, they're looking like that team of last year was kind of fool's gold. Kind of remind me of a TCU, ironically, compared to this year.
Well, now hold on. TCU's 3-1 now.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
lost to
they've
Colorado. They've
right.
won 3 straight.
They found their way. But what I'm saying is, like, the defense wise, it's just like, what is going on? with
Yeah.
them? But Minnesota, number one, they miss Dalvin Cook. I think that is very apparent on the offense. They do miss Dalvin Cook a bit because they're having to rely too much on Kirk Cousins, and I think that's partially the reason that they've got 7 turnovers in just a few games here. But it isn't all on him though, because it seems like just everybody's got butterfingers. Ball security is a huge problem with them. They've got to take care of that. And like you said, Malin, the defense is kind of, for whatever reason, is just really not doing their job, and it doesn't make any sense. And then the coaching, I don't know what the hell, Kevin O'Connell making some questionable decisions, but they're in for a real rude awakening, I think, this year, because someone tells me that there's going to be a shakeup between either Kirk Cousins or possibly Justin Jefferson. This team seems like it's not going to stay together by the end of this year because the light at the end of the tunnel may not be there.
I think that I think not paying Dalvin Cook is going to come down to really bite him in the butt. I think they were too sold on what's his name, Mattinson.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be the type of bell cow back that Cook was, or the playmaker. He's a rumble stumble, gets you 4 yards, but even he's fumbled the ball a couple times. He doesn't seem to be the pass catcher that Dalvin Cook is. So I think that's going to, outside of having the worst pre-game hype ceremony with blowing that fucking horn and everyone yelling skull like they're from Valhalla and not men of fucking soda. I mean, come on. What are we doing? Like, why are they even called the Vikings at this point? Because there's snow? Because there's snow. We call them the Vikings. Is that why? It's Minnesota. People go ice fishing in huts and dig little holes and put a pole in the water. There's nothing Viking about it. Let's calm the fuck down.
They do have the cool drinking horns. Those are pretty neat.
Yeah. Where Vikings actually were. I don't know. Iceland? Yeah.
The Minnesotans have adopted them now. So.
What horns did I got in Minnesota? What horns? What are we doing? It's Minnesota.
Yeah.
The college team is called the Gophers. That's more realistic. They should be called the Minnesota Gophers.
Well, maybe they'll. Who would they play next week? That's the better question.
The what?
Good question.
Who do they play next week?
Who do they play next week?
Panthers.
Oh, that's awesome. All of a sudden, my webpage doesn't want to work. That's cool.
That kind of week.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Panthers.
they play the Panthers.
Oh, okay, so
there you go. That's a W.
They're gonna win.
Washington
Well,
lose.
I don't know, man.
They lost to Tampa.
Hey, it depends on if the Amish rifle's arm doesn't fall off after he threw the ball like 69 times against my Seahawks. Jesus.
Well, that's their only hope at this point.
Yeah. All Amish rifle.
And then the week after that, they play Kansas City. So, good luck.
They better get that W.
Anyway, let's move on from that shit show to
from the Gophers.
Let's go to the Dallas and Arizona game, where the Cardinals pull off a big upset. 28-16 was the final score. Did this loss give the Cowgirls any legitimate reason for concern, Nestor? I was really hoping Junebug was going to be here for this one.
I know he had to kick his own dog right in New York.
I thought this game was going to be straightforward, so I didn't even watch it. I didn't even know they had lost until like a day later. Whole 24 hours passed, and I was like, "What? You said the corn? What?" And I have no idea.
Have you been out of power that long?
I don't know what happened. No. Um, man, it seems to me without actually have seen the game or looked up anything, it would seem to me like this is typical cowgirls. See, now I can't even typical Cowboys thing. Just giving up these, just choking, just fucking choking. And this is the worry I would imagine some smart Dallas fans have, like that Dak Prescott's gonna throw some picks and just choke, and then they're gonna give away to some mediocre team. Give Arizona some credit because I think they've had some flashes here and there. So let's not, shit on them completely. Let's just give them some credit here. But yeah, this team doesn't seem Super Bowl bound if they're gonna give away these losses and choke like they're choking, like they typically do. So yeah, big concerns.
I'm not overly concerned if I'm a Cowboys fan. It's a 17-game season. Teams that are not supposed to win are going to win some games. Only the 07 Patriots went undefeated through the regular season, besides the 72 Dolphins. And, I said the 72 Dolphins? Jesus. And so, I mean, you're going to lose some games, right? This one is a weird one, though, because when you're watching the game, like it seemed like Arizona was in control from beginning to end. Even though Dobbs only threw for 189 yards, Cancer Connor, he only rushed for 98 yards, 95, 98 yards. He had a touchdown. They didn't control time of possession. The Cowboys had 34 minutes of time of possession to them only having 25 minutes. And the Cowboys had more yards, 416 to 400. Now, the Cowboys did have one turnover, but that was at the very end of the game when Dak threw the interception. Now, why is Dak throwing into the middle of the end zone with 3 red shirts and 1 white shirt? Maybe because he's a fan of the British. I have no idea. But decision-making alone, like that's one play. They didn't lose that game because Dak threw an interception at the end of the game. And hell, even Pollard had 122 yards rushing and a touchdown. And so it seems like, to me, it's more of a fluky loss than anything. Because it's not like, I mean, the Cardinals, yes, they scored 28 points. But they weren't overly dominant while they won the game. It just kind of seemed like it's one of those games that a team that's supposed to win never really got their foot on the gas. They were never able to really play the defense or the offense that they wanted to play. And they seemed like they were playing on their heels more than they should have been throughout the game. It was a really clunky, just shitty game for them. Now, this is the first game that they're playing without Diggs. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But they still got Parsons, they still got Gilmore, they still got a hell of a front line. So I don't know. I'm not overly worried with the Cowboys. I still think they're one of the better teams. I mean, they're gonna win probably 3 out of their next 4. They got the Patriots, the Niners, the Chargers, and the Rams. I would be surprised if they're not sitting at like 5-2 after 7 weeks. And if that happens, they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, like you said, this is just one of those, sometimes you lose to teams that are a lot worse than you. It just kind of happens. Every team has its week. It seems like besides Nestor and Cowboy fans, everybody else is kind of reasonable with the expectations here. Like, it doesn't seem like people are like, the Cowboys write them off. It's like, sometimes you lose these games. It just kind of happens. But,
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
In response to that. I told you guys the timeline was altered when Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl a few years back. The only thing that could correct the timeline, put us back into the normal, universe is that the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, and that's not going to happen because you have a quarterback that he's not Super Bowl champ quality.
Don't
Just
put that voodoo on
that's
Ricky Bobby.
that's where I'm going.
Don't you put that voodoo on us.
So we're
Ain't
just
none of us
stuck in
need
this
to see that.
alternate
Ain't
universe.
nobody needs to see the blue and silver confetti drop. You put that voodoo out there. I like how
It
we said
happened.
the only way we'll get out of some concocted alternate universe that he has for himself is if the Cowboys do something he doesn't think they can do. I think
So we're
the
just-
dark
Two wrongs make a right.
the dark
Two wrongs make a right. All right?
man.
We're just
we need to send
stuck here.
We need to send some help down here to Sarasota. This man needs
Or even better, the Dolphins win the Super Bowl.
no.
You never know.
I'm just
sounds
saying,
pretty terrible.
Cowboy fans, don't get too caught up in your feelings. It's just 1 week. Every dog has its day. I don't think this was some big reflection of not having Diggs. He'll be missed, but you guys will be all right. The defense is outstanding, so you have enough to get by without him. But that's just regular season wise.
Can I say one more thing on the game?
Yeah.
I love, I'm a part of some social media groups for the NFC West. You should have seen some of these Cardinal fans. They're not inflated about what they are this year. They're just so happy they beat the Cowboys. You had people out there like, I don't care. We're probably not going to win another game. But we beat these sons of bitches and made America better than it was the day before. I mean, these were some of the comments that I was reading online. I was
That's
like,
the spirit.
y'all some real people. Y'all ain't getting inflated egos thinking you something. You just did America a favor.
Right.
It's great.
Good
Love
for
it.
them.
Sound like Bills fans.
It's kind of like who?
Bills fans. Some of the nicest
Oh,
people.
you're right. Yeah, considerate.
Or they
literate.
end up super toxic.
Anyway, let's get on out of the recap and let's move on to a topic we have not hit on in a long time.
One of my favorites.
Since last season, the L's of the week, folks. It had to come back. Had to. We made it through a couple weeks without any, huge losses suffered in the
Past
NFL.
week revived it.
But right, some people just can't help themselves, and they have to get a good ass whooping to earn their way onto this topic. So let's start off with the really just the one that you thought was a typo. The Dolphins beating the Broncos 70-20 on a 1:00 game in Miami, Florida. Nestor, what did you think about this happening?
Man, I love this. It was weird because I think before the halftime or even after halftime, it wasn't a blowout. It was a close game. It was like a touch. We were winning by a touchdown.
It was 35-15 at halftime. Let's calm down.
Well, before the halftime, then it seemed like it wasn't gonna be a blowout, but Sutton made some fumbles.
7 in the first quarter.
Honestly, it did. I didn't think it was gonna be a blowout,
Spoke
but
like a
Sutton
true
made some
Dolphins
fumbles. Russell made this Fields type throw right into the
Yeah.
defense line. It was hilarious. Sean Payton was arguing with Russell. I feel like this team carried so many weaknesses and try to put them under the rug. And then you have games. I know this because I'm a fan of teams that do this. You try to hide your weaknesses, and it fucks you pretty bad when you play a really good team. And I think my Dolphins, I'm not talking about Super Bowl, but I think they're a pretty good team. Their offense is good. Their defense has improved. Their run game, it exists now. Uh, Devon A. Chain, Mossert, they're putting in some work. So we did all this without Waddle, by the way. So what's wrong with the Denver Broncos? Probably fucking everything at this point. Probably need to look at everything. To be honest with you, but you have some little bright spot. Marvin Mims. There's some bright spots in there that you can kind of like hold out some hope for.
I'm sorry. You don't lose by 50 points to have any bright spots. Man, go ahead.
I would just like to point out that the Denver Broncos, with about 3 minutes left before halftime, only had an 8% chance of winning the game. Out of about 8 minutes left in the third quarter until the end of the game, they had a 0% chance of winning. I've never seen a percentage line like that. Even ESPN was like, "Oh, man, you fellas ain't winning the game." I don't. At this point, you got to look at Sean Payton. It ain't Russ, man. 23 of 38, 300 something yards, a touchdown, interception. He didn't play terrible.
Right.
He didn't play great, but he didn't play terrible. And he didn't give up 70 yards. He damn sure isn't going to be a defensive back or a safety out there. He's not the reason why the Miami Dolphins dropped 70 on him. I don't know why Sean Payton hates Russell Wilson as much as he does. He hates Russell Wilson like a Seattle Seahawks fan hates Russell Wilson because he left Seattle. Like, I don't understand what the vitriol is there, but he's always yelling at him. But you're the head coach, man. At the end of the day, last year after 3 weeks, Nathaniel Hackett was 2-1. And he got fired.
Yeah.
Sean Payton's 0-3. And he's playing like dog shit. I feel like he already lost the locker room. He's out there in the preseason talking about how he doesn't want people wearing, sunglasses and the what the hell kind of hats are those?
Bucket hats.
The bucket hats. Why the fuck can't you wear a bucket hat? New Era makes them. They give them to every goddamn team. Why can't you wear a fucking bucket hat, Sean Payton? But you wearing them in practice? What the hell's wrong with a bucket hat, man?
Got dress code.
I just don't understand why the dress code has to stop at bucket hats and sunglasses when you're giving interviews to people. Sounds a lot like the Colorado State coach.
Yep.
My mama taught me to take my hat and my sunglasses off when I talk to adults. What the hell are we doing? So I don't know, man. Like, it was clinical what the Dolphins did on offense. And like Nestor said, they did it without Waddle, man. How do you pronounce his name? Acne? Acne? Does it need some zip removal? A-chain? That's how you spell it? That's called A-chain?
At the running back, right?
A-chain?
Yeah. They call that A-chain. Okay, he must be from Louisiana with that spelling. The 18 carries, 203 yards. Mostert, man, first of all, honestly, I got both of them in fantasy. I don't even know who to start this week. I'm a little bit pissed off. But I started Mostert, and he got 45 points, but yet A-Chain got 54 points. I'm not kind of fucking backup running back. I was pissed off I got 45 points out of one running back because the other one got 54. How do you almost 100 points with two running backs? One of them was on the bench. Tyreek Hill had a game, 157 yards. He had a touchdown. Tua ain't got a concussion yet, so he's playing great. That was just, I don't think you really saw a lot from the Miami defense because I think what you saw out of Denver's offense is just what you're going to get, an average of 17, 20 points a game, and I think Russell Wilson's going to throw for almost 300 a game and have a touchdown and interception. But that defense, though, supposed to be a good defense. What are they doing? So I just
even Mike White scored.
Yeah, even White, the great white hype. Even he scored. Jets players are about to bring back out them Mike White hype T-shirts they made last year after they threw Zach Wilson out of the building for a few weeks because White threw a touchdown pass to somebody. I don't know who the fuck it was. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. What I don't know is after watching this game, are the Dolphins really this good, or are the Broncos really this bad?
Mm-hmm.
Like, a 70-20 is so freaking weird.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, one's undefeated and one doesn't have a win. So I don't know. It's an offense that I love seeing right now. I just wonder how that's going to translate when it comes to postseason, if they make it.
Yeah.
Like this type of offense needs home field advantage in the playoffs. You don't want to be going to Kansas City, Buffalo, or Cincinnati for a divisional or championship game with this type of high-flying offense. You want that down in the sunshine state where it's still going to be 75 degrees.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will say there's a few things on this. One, I think the rest of the NFL, especially the AFC East, better pray that Tua gets a concussion because this offense with him throwing the quarterback or throwing the ball rather, he is. This is the best offense in the NFL, I think, by far. And
just said pray for CTE. That's messed up.
He's torching everybody right now. On the Broncos side, I gotta agree. I can't put any of this on Russell Wilson because when you hear 70 points initially, it's like there must have been a bunch of like pick sixes in there or scooping scores. But no, I mean he only threw one interception, so that did not pad 70 points. I mean, let's be real now. Like Russell actually played a fairly good game. It's the defense that gave up all those points. And if you look back at their last two games, I mean, he and the offense put up 53 points combined. It's like that's nothing to slouch at. So the defense that was supposed to be their biggest bright spot coming into the season is like their biggest weakness at this point. And I don't know why, seeing that a lot of the dudes are the same. Besides the fact that Sean Payton is there now, so I don't know what's going on there. It seems like it's a voice that they just don't seem to respect, or they're just not clicking, or whatever. But man, I sure hope they get it figured out because it's only 3 weeks in and it already seems like a complete disaster. So there's a lot of football to still be played.
Let me be clear. I don't want them to get it figured out. I want them to continue to be just god awful. But I mean, two things real quick. Just about the quarterbacks. Okay, I'd like to point out that Tua right now is completing almost 72% of his passes. He has a career completion percentage of 66%. So he's even more efficient than what he was last year. So the head trauma is actually making him a better quarterback right now. So my question to you guys is Russell Wilson going to be the quarterback of the Denver Broncos next year? They can get out after this year with the least amount of cap hit after this year. And Sean Payton didn't bring him in. You don't seem to like him. I don't know what is different about Drew Brees and Russell Wilson. Well, I know what's different. They're completely different quarterbacks. But personality-wise, ethic, I don't know what it is. But he does not seem to want Russell Wilson as his quarterback, even though he signed on to be the coach of a team that has Russell Wilson at the fucking quarterback. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Russell Wilson will be a quarterback of the Broncos next year?
I think that by the end of the year, if there still seems to be a rift between the two, I think Russ is gone. As long as they also they missed the playoffs and that rift is still there, I think that's that.
Oh, well, they ain't making the playoffs. They're 0-3. Has there ever been an 0-3 team to ever make the playoffs?
Probably not. If there are, there's few and far between.
Man, I think the Bengals are the only team that started 0-2 that's made the playoffs in like the last 30 years. Much less 0-3.
So yeah, there you go.
What do you think, Nestor?
I agree with Jim. If there's still like a rip and we start to see more of this play out, what happened with the Dolphins? Because you could argue, well, the Dolphins have a great offense, whatever. But if they start to take some L's against bad teams, you could probably. I think you're gonna see that Russell's gonna leave probably.
Well, it's not he's going to leave. He's going to kick his ass out the door.
Well, yeah, yeah.
They're not gonna fire him. He's gonna resign.
I'm just saying, right now, going Russ Belichick 2024.
Oh God.
I was just about to say that.
Please stop.
You know you'd get the jersey.
We've got our own
You know
mess.
you'd get the jersey.
Let's
You
move
would.
on. Let's go to the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Bears like a drum, 41-10. Oh boy, the Justin Fields slander continues. What do you think about this game, Nestor?
They murdered my boy. I know because I have him on my fantasy team. No. All right, hold on. This man is still completing some passes for touchdowns. He's still, look. He's still
Some passes for touchdowns.
He's a decent. He's still a decent quarterback.
No, he's
You know what
not.
I hate that. You know what I hate that he's not doing. He's not rushing the fucking ball because it's costing me. He's not rushing, so it's costing me. I think, if anything, worse than his performance, this team is not well coached. You are seeing, I'm telling you, because I'm watching these games.
Stop it.
He's passing the ball to Claypool. He's passing the ball to Moore, and these Butterfinger as are not they're not catching the ball. It's slipping right through the hands at these pivotal moments. So is Fields doing bad? Yes, he's not performing well. I'm not saying he's doing good. I know
just
personally.
Last week threw a football to 8 Tampa Bay defenders on the 1 yard line.
That's fine. That's okay. That happened. Okay, that happened. But
got 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions through 3 games. He's completing less than 60% of his passes.
I know, because it cost me.
No, you want to know what this is, and this is going to be some controversial shit.
I know everything this man does.
No, this is going to be some controversial shit. And Jalen, you need to unmute yourself because I need your response on this, okay? Because this some shit that pisses me off right now that's happening in mainstream debate, talk shows, Sports Center, FS1, all this shit, okay? Josh Allen has a bad game. They're crucifying the shit out of him. Justin Fields plays like shit. And all of a sudden everybody's, well, it's not his fault. He's not being developed and he's not being coached. I know that we want black quarterbacks to succeed in the league. But not everybody's going to be great. Not everybody's going to be Patrick Mahomes. Not everybody's going to be a Mike Vick or a Russell Wilson or a Cam Newton. Not everybody is going to make it. It's okay if one of them's bad. I mean, hell, there hasn't been a single good Ohio State quarterback yet that's made it in the NFL. I don't know why people thought that this one was going to be different. So it's asinine to me the way that the media protects this kid. Like, I get it that you want him to succeed so bad, but he's not a quarterback. He can't read defenses. They're not even running the ball anymore. If you can't complete 60% of your passes in the NFL, you're not a good quarterback. You're not even a really good quarterback if you only complete 60% of your passes. I mean, the average airtime that his balls have are under 5 yards. He's throwing the ball less than 5 yards on average on all of the throws that he's throwing right now. How do you have less than 550 yards passing through 3 weeks in the NFL? And you think you're going to be a success? It's like, at some point, you have to have talent as well. And he's not, he is not able to keep up with the speed of the NFL. You can't do it.
Yeah, I would love to say, I disagree, or what you're saying is wrong, but yeah, I think you're pretty spot on. I think the last mobile black quarterback taken, in a higher draft pick was probably was it Lamar?
Well, Lamar Jackson was taken in the last pick of the first round.
Last pick of the first round.
Justin Fields is even higher than him.
Right, because he was like a top 10-ish pick, top 20 pick.
But even Josh Allen runs the ball better than him.
Yeah, it just seems like it's expected. Like, oh, he's a high draft pick, mobile quarterback, black. He's gonna come into it at some point. But maybe that's just not the case. I think we're kind of seeing that that's just not destined to be the thing. And like you said, he is an Ohio State quarterback. That should trump everything else. The fact that he's from Ohio State, that just does not pan out. That's not how it works. The weapons that he has are not great, but I think they're good. They're solid. I feel like they're comparable to what my Patriots have. And hell, even Mac Jones looks better than him right now. Yeah, I really don't. The Bears, good luck, Justin Fields. I would love to see him do well, but I don't know how you fix that.
He's doing marginally better than Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I was about to say, because Zach Wilson's getting crucified, and that's the same
People
drive.
want to run Zach Wilson out of the United States and not even let him play Canadian Football League. They want him.
Right.
Like they want to send him to Colombia. That's how bad it is.
Man, who would want to live there?
Yeah, I don't know. Sarasota does a lot of power. Maybe Columbia does. But, literally, okay, so Zach Wilson has 467 yards passing, and Fields has 526. And Wilson has 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Field has 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. They're both under 60% completion percentage. They're both playing like shit.
Yeah.
But, everyone wants to crucify Zach Wilson. Oh, he's just playing terrible, yada, yada, yada. They're not talking about Nathaniel Hackett right now. They're not talking about how bad of an OC Nathaniel Hackett is or Saleh right now. They're saying y'all need to go out and find a quarterback. Justin Fields, they're like, well, you need to get rid of your coaching staff and get them coached up. Who the fuck is going to coach you? Being a competent quarterback in the NFL, it doesn't happen. I don't know.
But he also has Claypool as a receiver, so I take that into account.
I'm just saying. Look at my Patriots, where we got Juju. Mac Jones still looks better than him. That's the same draft class. It's very similar weapons, and he's not nearly as talented as Justin Fields.
And everyone's talking about, is Mac Jones the answer with the Patriots?
Right.
It bothers me the protection that this kid has in the media right now when all these other quarterbacks are getting crucified.
Yep.
It's crazy to me. So I don't know. The only other quarterback protected more than Justin Fields right now is Trevor Lawrence, and he's pissing me off too. So.
That's it. I'd love to hear more on that because I don't know, but we'll keep it moving for now. Let's get into the Commanders and the Bills. Fortunately, I picked wrong on this one. Commanders just absolutely picked apart the Bills 37-3. Our very own Morgan Brown. Or sorry, other way around. Bills.
What game did you watch?
Morgan Brown went to this game. Was debating on whether he should sell those tickets, and he last minute, I guess, decided to go. He should have sold those goddamn tickets.
Did he leave? Did he get out of the stadium? Did he leave?
I
would
think so.
I would have drunken myself into a slumber and just passed out somewhere.
Yeah. This was, I think everybody thought this was going to be a bit more entertaining than what it actually was. So, Nestor, any thoughts?
Yeah, I would think it would be more entertaining because what's his name? Brian Robinson? Is that the
Sure.
running back they have?
Yeah, the one
Yeah,
guy.
I thought he was gonna do better. Be a bigger part of the game. I didn't think Sam Howell was gonna do so bad. I
He
thought,
did terrible.
Yeah.
but he did. Man, he did really. He got exposed. I think that team got exposed a little bit. Well, a whole lot. They got some problems they got to work out. They still got. Please, like Juju reacts. Jen know who I'm talking about. Like Juju reacts says, please get this man off my team. Get Antonio Gibson off that fucking team. It's the second time, probably the third time he fumbles the ball. He's not giving you many yards. Like every time this man touches the ball, he fumbles. Get him off that team because he's not who we thought he could be. He's not a decent running back, and he's fumbling the ball. So, it kind of pains me to see because I almost picked the Commanders on this one, but I don't know. Just some bad things that happen. Bands playing, girls screaming.
I mean, you are talking about a team that, from reports I'm hearing, is strongly considering going back to the Redskins moniker. So shit. I don't even know what to make of this goddamn organization or the team. I would like to point out that Nestor was talking about Justin Fields and he just needs to run the ball more, saying that play calling is part of the issue. Yet Howell is exposed, even though Howell has better stats than Justin Fields this year. So that's like at least he can complete 65% of his passes. This is another one of those weird games to where yes, they got away from the run game early because the Bills were up 16-0. So Robinson only had 10 carries. He had 70 yards on those 10 carries, but he only had 10 carries in the game. I think it's actually a little bit more, heroic to come back and be a running back in the NFL when you get shot and come back versus, I don't know, just beat cancer, whatever. But Josh Allen didn't even really play that great, man. He only threw for like 220 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Like, all of a sudden, yes, they were winning 16-0. But then the wheels just fell off the wagon for the Commanders, and the Bills scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So yes, it ended up being 37-3, but it was a respectable game for the Commanders for a large part. The offense couldn't get anything going. I mean, you throw 4 interceptions in one game, you're probably not winning that game. I think Russell Wilson is the last quarterback to throw 4 interceptions in a game in the last 20 years, and you still win. And that just happened to be the NFC Championship game in 2014. So, I mean, it was, even though they scored 37 points, I mean, Diggs only had 8 catches. Cook didn't even get 100 yards rushing. Allen didn't throw for 300 yards. It's not like the offense, I don't think the offense for the Bills have solved their problems. I think they still have issues. And I think that this was just one of those games where the ball just bounced, the Bills' way a hell of a lot more than it bounced Washington's way. But, we talked about who were the worst 2-0 teams and who were the best 0-2 teams. And we all had Washington up there as one of the worst 2-0 teams. We knew their record wasn't indicating that they were as good as what that was. I think they were a little bit better after 3 weeks than what they thought they were going to be. But yeah, good old ass kicking. A lot of tables were broken in Buffalo.
Oh man. The only thing I'm gonna say on this is it just reinforces what we were just talking about with Justin Fields, because Sam Howell, this is his first few games in the NFL. He's never played before. and starts off 2-0, and people are like, okay, Sam Howell, we're optimistic on him, we're liking him, and then he shits the bed one time, and then it's like, oh, is Sam Howell the answer at Washington? It's like, it's his third game. He's playing a very good Buffalo team. Like, let's all just settle down. It happens.
Yeah, he's not playing bad, man. He's, like I said, he's still completing 65% of his passes. He had 3 touchdowns and 1 interception going into the game. So sometimes you're going to kind of shit the bed. You know what? He's played more games than DeMar Hamlin has. I'll say that. All that hype. Being left-hand active all the goddamn time.
Yeah. On that note, we will go to a break. When we come back on the other side, we've got some big news in the NBA from this afternoon. And we've got the Ride or Die in 5. And of course, our very own G Money will be joining us in the second half. So stay tuned.
G Money's on my list, by the way.
He's on your list?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Man's over there grabbing Jack in the Box and taking pictures of it and sending it to me because he knows that I can't get Jack in the Box right now. Multiple pictures. Man over there eating sourdough jacks and shit.
Imagine how I feel.
Yeah, shut up. You can't even see you to know how you feel.
I can't even get electricity.
You got a lot more pressing issues whether or not you're going to have the sourdough jack or not. Pay your goddamn light bill, Nestor.
All right, we're going to go to a break, and we will be back in 10 minutes.
Hey. Yeah. Hey. On my way to the boat, like I ain't just had on a coat when I landed, outran it. Perched at the edge of the branches. They don't wanna talk mansions, mine look like a campus. And I'm all about my brothers like the niggas I'm sampling. I'll leave you red shirted like the twins from Kansas. Really living my dreams I used to have in my aunt's crib.
This is the first time the Heat have made the finals since LeBron left.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
true. What the fuck?
Nobody wants to guess.
Is it Kyle Lowry?
If Kyle Lowry's number
Do I get the point?
Yeah, I'll give you the point.
I guess 2 of them. Do I not get points for that shit too? Can I just make a complaint?
How many times have these two teams played each other in the regular season?
Once.
Is incorrect.
No.
Twice.
Twice.
You already guessed.
Twice.
What was your guess? 3. That is incorrect.
Twice.
2.
G Money, any guesses?
I already said it.
We don't know if that's correct.
Well, I mean,
it is correct.
G Money, try 5.
Why this man had the most amount of points to complain about?
How is it taking that fucking long?
You missed the first question because you answered too fast. Not thinking.
He's stupid.
That's pretty
First of all, this is the last time we're ever doing trivia. I don't give a damn what happens.
Hey. Yeah. Trendsetter, band frame getter. With whatever. I buy diamonds when I'm under pressure. When I apply, shit don't ever let up. Yeah. Look, I'm in the cut, the boy in the cut. Jump in the whip with the ceiling go up, we up. All of this grinding for what? It's funny when you niggas thought it was luck.
So who is that? All right, these Lance Spider Mitchell. You gotta put on the top. Oh, got somebody good. Ooh, Steph Curry. Okay. That feels bad. There's Darren Fox. Thank you.
Damn. Is that gonna fall the moment he gets it out?
Oh my god. How am I supposed to even turn this now?
By the way, the person who knocks it over, your lineup doesn't even count.
He took Zion. Listen, that's the best I can do, dude.
Okay, be alright.
Jared Allen, you're coming home with me, friend.
Stack it.
Mr. IG Live himself.
Oh, the shooter.
Oh, Jesus.
That was harder than the Bulls fought to get Zach LaVine.
Did you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
If Miami can maintain their momentum and find a way to beat the Bucks in this series, you will be seeing us in the final. There's no question, ifs, ands, or buts about it, so be prepared to see us.
And the Miami Heat become the 6th in NBA history to win as an 8th seed in the first round.
Game wants his ring, and he's gonna get it. And he's like, "Fuck him." He's got to play lights out. He's gonna come out there and play lights out. Butler's gonna put the whole load on his shoulders. And I say he wins game 1. Great momentum. That's how you start a series.
All 3 of the previous series, they were the underdog. All 3 of those series, they won game 1. Denver's 9-0 at home in the playoffs. They take game 1. Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The Denver Nuggets win their 4th straight road game in these playoffs and regain home court advantage. Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Denver Nuggets are 1 win away from their first ever NBA title. Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Murray falling away. Rebound, Brown banks it home. Bruce Brown puts the Nuggets back up by 1. Jimmy Butler on the drive, gets inside, stops. Stolen by Caldwell Pope. And a foul. 2 clutch free throws from Contavious Caldwell Pope. It's over. At last, the long wait is over. After 47 years, the Denver Nuggets can finally call themselves NBA champions.
Yeah. Still waiting, wanting got to keep me on chill. Don't release me, I'll kick it with my new bitch. I still.
Yep, in my white tee. Yeah, call up Mike Williams for the hype, please. Nigga, I'm white you before you wipe me. My boxes of checks, not my Nikes. Cactus, not no iced tea. Got them bamboozled like a Spike Lee. You need more than Google just to find me. I just call a beta, get a hyphy.
Incredible, general.
I just got the label just to sign me. Me and Chase connected like we signed.
We all know how Kirk Cousins does on prime time.
You're damn right.
I'm taking the Eagles minus the 7.
No, I'm not saying that Seattle's going to win. I just think they'll be within a touchdown. The Seahawks can't really play any worse than they did.
I didn't see Justin Fields like comfortable standing where he had to pass to or when he had to run the ball. I don't know. They look lost on offense, in my opinion. So I go with Tampa.
If they go down 14-17-0 in the first quarter, they're not coming back and beating this team.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the Eagles.
That cannot happen.
That's why I'm going Miami. I have no faith in the Steelers.
I'm also taking the Browns. Cover the 2 points.
Young, Stroud, and Richardson. Which one do you guys think had the better week? Now, personally, I think Bryce Young struggled the most. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, only 146 yards. I think he had like a 24 quarterback rating. It was pretty terrible. Stroud, his team was never really in it against the Ravens. He was 28 for 44, 242 yards, I think. Just pedestrian numbers. They only scored 9 points in that game. The offense never really looked like they were moving well. So me personally, I would have to go with Anthony Richardson. He was the quarterback that I was hoping that if the Seahawks would pick a quarterback in the draft, it would have been him. He's less polished than the others, but he has more athletic talent. He had 223 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but I think that 40 yards rushing and that touchdown that he had in that game was the difference of really making that game competitive when it came between the Jaguars and the Colts. So you let us know. Was it Stroud? Was it Young? Was it Richardson? Who had the best week 1 rookie quarterbacks?
Out of all of the NFL teams that are undefeated, which one do you think is the worst team? I gotta say, in the NFC, there's a few fraudulent teams I think that are there. We've got Washington, Tampa, and Atlanta. Washington, they've actually got a good amount going on there. That defense, especially their defensive line, I think is very promising. And Sam Howell can kind of only get better from here. I do think that Washington, they're all right. Between Atlanta and Tampa, though, they're kind of both equally fraudulent. If I have to pick, though, I think Atlanta is a bit more suspect. I'm going to put Tampa to the side only because Tampa does have more experienced players, especially at the quarterback position. They've got a lot of veteran guys. I still don't think that they're going to be undefeated very long. They've got the Eagles on Monday night. Say goodbye to that 2-0 record. Even with that being said, I still think that the Falcons are the more fraudulent undefeated team right now. Who do you think, though?
Which is the best 0-2 team in the NFL right now? 9 teams, 0-2. You might want to say Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson in Minnesota, but 7 turnovers, that fan base being dog shit, giving death threats out to the running back. Then you have the Denver Broncos, maybe, but Sean Payton, Russell Wilson don't really seem to be on the same page, and Russell Wilson thinks that a football game's only 2 quarters now. My money's got to be with the Cincinnati Bengals. They've been to a Super Bowl. They've been deep in the playoffs last year. Burrow, Higgins, Chase, still got Mixon. That's a squad. I'm surprised that offense is not doing better than what it is now, but you got to think they're going to get it figured out and turn this ship around. So I'm going to go with Cincinnati. What do you guys think in the comments?
Remember to follow the show on TikTok and Instagram at @FA Sports. Now back to your favorite show on the internet with your hosts, Jaylon, Malon, Nestor, and G Money.
We'll talk about it while we're live. Don't worry about it.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. Second half, we got G Money here.
Gentlemen, good to be here.
Yes, thank you for joining us yet again for I don't know how many weeks in a row, but G Money, folks, your go-to for the Ride or Die in 5 and a hot Seattle Seahawks take.
G Money's been here for a solid year.
Yeah.
He started with us over the summer a year ago.
Yeah, last off
That's
season.
what happens if you become a loyal listener and fan of AFR. You too can be invited on the show.
Hold on. Not everybody. I don't want anyone to get it.
Oh yeah, we do.
We've seen some of the comments with some of these people.
Yeah.
Can't even follow some rules.
Some of the things.
They're like, hey, pick who's the worst 0-2 team? Here, I'll give you 4 of them. Well, they're all like, what are we doing?
Like, I'll give you 4. So because or you say who's your worst 0-2 team, and they pick a team that's 2-0. It's like
right.
You don't get the 0-2 thing.
Worst 0-2 Commanders. That's oh, jeez.
Well, if you're taking a second half shot, now is the time to do it.
We don't know what Nestor's doing.
He's around,
I
folks.
can't even.
Do we want to know?
There he is with the doers. He comes into the light every now and then. It's actually kind of fucking creepy.
He's like, he's in front of this like sacrificial fire.
Like every now and then we can see his neck and his teeth because we know this man goes to the dentist.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But usually he just looks like a Don DeLuise.
I'm due for a visit.
Due for a visit. All right, let's keep it moving here because Nestor only has like probably 12% battery at this point.
Motherfuckers.
Close to 8%.
Oh boy!
Shit!
All right, so let's hit the big news here.
Mother. Damn it. Sorry. We're losing 4-1.
Today's top stories and breaking news.
A team that knows all too well about losing 4 games down. The Milwaukee Bucks, they just signed Damian Lillard. This one came out of left field today. 3-team trade.
Tampering.
3-team trade involving the Suns, the Blazers, and the Bucks, and a couple players I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard of in my life. But the big one sends Dame Lillard to Milwaukee. Drew Holiday goes to Portland. DeAndre Ayton also goes to Portland. I think Nurkic goes to Phoenix, if I'm correct.
Grayson Allen.
Yeah, and Grayson Allen as well. And I think Portland also gets
Nurkic.
some crazy draft picks or some kid that's in like middle school right now. But yeah, the most important thing is that Dame Lillard is a Milwaukee Buck. And my question to you guys is, does this make the Milwaukee Bucks the now favorite to come out of the East? And Nestor, how upset are you on a scale of 1 to 10 that the Miami Heat did not land Damian Lillard after all of that?
I was gonna say, why are you asking me why things have been best in the East when I'm pissed off? That is. I don't know what to make of this. I don't know if it's the Heat incompetence in picking up a player. I don't know if it's Portland and other LGQBT bars that somehow they decided to do this to us. I don't know. I don't know where to draw the line. I don't know whose fault this is. I don't agree, even though I was joking about the tampering. I don't agree with Jimmy about tampering. This man, I don't know what the fuck he's on. I don't know what he's on. But favorite team, like favorites in the East, we gotta see how it plays out, don't we? Because I would still think that I'm still on Porzingis, adding a lot of depth to that team. I don't know. I still think Boston can come out of the East, going to the finals. Honestly, I still do. Unless, I don't know, Giannis goes off and there's some great, they play well together and Dame is going off. Like, I don't know. But it's going to be fun to see. The only good thing I can draw from this for the Heat is we are realizing we are shit because we decided to keep Tyler Hero instead of going for this man. And somehow this will, I don't know, maybe it'll make the organization wake up and pick up some players down the years. And then try something. But we're getting fucked this year. I'm sorry. The Heat are getting fucked, and I hope they do, so they wake up.
Okay.
I will say this: when G Money and I were at the summer league games in Las Vegas over the summer, it was pretty evident, based on Heat fans making T-shirts, that they did not want Tyler Hero. So much so, the reason why we know that is because they literally made T-shirts that said "We don't want Tyler Hero."
Man off my team.
So they didn't want your Brokeback Mountain man. So a few things to unpack here. Is first of all, they had the 4th best odds before the trade to win the NBA Finals in Vegas. Now they have the best odds to win the NBA Finals coming out of Vegas. Okay. So it went from 4-1. So Vegas is calling them the favorites right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why would they be calling them the favorites? Let's go ahead and break it down a little bit. Ellie, Embiid, can he stay healthy? Not really. Is Harden going to lose 20 pounds? Probably not. Is he even going to suit up? I don't know. Outside of putting on a fat suit, probably not.
He has no knees.
There is a question mark with Jalen and I's Boston Celtics. I know you just talked about Porzingis, but we lost one of the hearts of our team in Smart. Defensively, we were already struggling last year to get back to the defensive team that we were the year before. And now you lose one of our best defenders. So there's question marks with them. We know that the Heat aren't good enough to, if they make the finals, they're not good enough to win it, and that's not a shot. They are a good team. Like they're gonna be one of the 4 or 5 best teams in the East, right? So then when you look at the West, did Phoenix get better by getting rid of DeAndre Ayton? I don't understand really the trade value that Phoenix got in this
Right.
trade.
They did.
By getting rid of one of their better players. And, your stars there can't stay healthy. Golden State is worrisome. Okay? They're getting older. Their age is starting to show. They're doing some Laker shit right now with some of the contracts
Thank
they're
God.
getting. Draymond Green did not deserve to get the contract that he got from Golden State. It's not. They're paying him for what he's done, not what he's going to produce going forward.
Amen.
So then you're really looking at it. You're going, okay, so you got the Joker and Murray versus Giannis and Lillard. That's really what you're looking at in the West and the East without any games played. I'd venture to say that Milwaukee's got a better duo than what Denver has, just on paper, with the duo.
Yeah.
Okay. And now the thing that kind of bothers me a little bit about the Milwaukee trade is that yes, you get Dame, but you gave up arguably your second best player in Drew Holiday to get him. So how much better did you really get? You know what I mean? Because Drew Holiday is he's a good player. He's an all-star. Dame is better than him, but is he leaps and bounds better than him at his age? That to me is a question mark on how much better really Milwaukee got. But with all the question marks around the league, I mean, I guess Denver should still be the favorites because they just won it. And even though I don't like, rashy ass Joker, I guess they should probably be the favorites, but I would think that Milwaukee would be the favorite to come out of the East on paper. Strictly on paper because we don't have any games played yet.
Yeah, G-Money, I'm going to let you go here in just a second, but I'm just going to echo one of the last things you said, Malin. Is Dame Lillard that much better than Drew Holiday? I really don't think so. Like, Drew Holiday is actually a very good point guard, and I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to, at times, kind of miss him. Because as flashy and great as Dame Lillard is, he's also very injury prone. And that's one thing that Drew Holiday was not. Like, he's very solid, played a lot of games, very dependable. And I think that the Bucks are not huge leaps and bounds better than what they were just yesterday. They're gonna miss Drew Holiday in some points, and I don't think that the Bucks are now some huge favorite to win the whole thing or even come out of the East because there is still a lot of question marks all throughout the NBA. Miami's still gonna be a tough out. If the Bucks do run into them again in the playoffs, are we just all gonna assume that the Bucks were gonna run through them now because they have Lillard? I don't really think so because. One, is Lillard really going to be healthy at that point in the year? And then two, defensively, is Lillard, that big of an anchor to stack up against a Miami Heat team that didn't even have Tyler Hero at that time? So,
yep. Everybody talks about Lillard in the clutch gene.
Right.
And everyone goes to when he walked off the Thunder in the playoffs with that three. Okay. Well, Russell Westbrook and Paul George played for the Thunder that year. That was pre-COVID, for God's sakes. Like, Russell Westbrook, I think, has played on, 3 other teams now?
Yep.
Since that. So, are you getting that player? I don't know. I think that if Dame were to go to a team that had 2 other stars, yes, you make him the bona fide favorite to win the whole thing. But when it's him and somebody else, I think the only reason why they could be the favorites is because there's so many other question marks.
Yeah. Go ahead, G-Money.
So, I think we're forgetting a couple of things here. When it comes to Giannis, actually, Giannis dropped major hints that he was willing to leave the Bucks if there was a better situation for him to win another trophy. He also dropped hints that he would love to play with Dame. He'd love to play with him. So I think that was the catalyst for Milwaukee to make the trade. Did they get better? Dame is a better scorer and a three-point shooter than Drew is, but Drew is a better assist man and better on defense. So they got a little bit better scoring-wise. They can spread the floor a little better than they could before. They lose out on defense. Does that make them, I mean, basically, it's a 1-2 punch. Does that make them better than Boston? Boston has issues, as you said. Miami, we know, has issues. What about Cleveland? Chicago, if they're healthy? I mean, we said this last year, and I think it's true this year. The East will be the beast compared to the West. It really will be when you look at the teams. I mean, when you look at the West, you look at Denver. The Lakers, yeah, maybe. Who knows? I mean, if LeBron stays healthy, if AD stays healthy, you don't know. Yeah. And another thing with Drew is he's going to get traded. Portland's not keeping him. They are going to flip him. Yeah. And, I mean, and he's going to go to a contender. So,
I would love for him to go to Boston.
Well, they'll probably look for a number one and a young player or an expiring contract. Yeah. And as far as Phoenix trading Ayton, they did that. They made a mistake, was it 2 years ago when Indiana signed him to a contract and they matched it.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to lose him, but they didn't know how to use him. And if you notice, in the playoffs, he disappears. And sometimes he's sitting on the bench. It's like, what the heck? So Portland got out of their Vukac contract, which was a freaking albatross around their necks. They got Ayton, who's a lot younger, who could give them a double-double. They've got a lot of young talent. They could very easily make the playoffs in the West. But I don't think just getting Dane alone for Milwaukee makes them the favorite out of the East, nor does it make them the favorite to win the NBA.
The interesting thing to me, because you were talking about Milwaukee having a 1-2 punch, and this is just how crazy and how even the NBA is. Is there a team in the NBA that has more than a 1-2 punch? I mean, I really don't think there is. I mean, Boston has a 1-2 punch. Philly has a 1 punch and Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Milwaukee has their 1-2 punch now with scoring. I really don't like how much we've elevated Murray because of how well he played in the playoffs. He was not on the list of 1-2 punches in Denver until the playoffs this last year. Now, he's a really good player, but to me, he's like a Drew Holiday, and we never really thought that Milwaukee had a 1-2 punch. You know what I mean?
Right.
They had 1 punch and like a half a punch, and I kind of still feel like that's what Denver is. Phoenix has Booker and Durant. Dallas has, Flat Earth Irving.
Yeah.
And God damn it, I'm
Luka.
forgetting Luka. So and I guess you could call it 1-2 punch with Golden State with Curry or Thompson or whoever the hell wants to score with him.
New York has Randall and Brunson.
Yeah, oh, sure. I mean, you found a way to bring the Knicks into it. You just made Stephen A. Smith very happy. But I mean, who else has a Like, who else has better than a 1-2 punch? I don't think a team does. And so
Right.
I think I think that Vegas made them the favorites for two reasons. One, I just think that there's such a level playing field that it's impossible to really guess who's going to win the finals this year. And they were not going to waste any time getting ahead of the bets with people getting the fourth best odds with Milwaukee the moment that they got him. You know what I mean? They're hedging their bets. They're like, okay, so they got him, but we're not going to let you guys make a killing on us in case they do, win the finals. We're going to go ahead and make them the favorites now, so it's less enticing to put all your money in there. So it's just, I don't know. I think that's the two reasons why they're the favorites in Vegas. Vegas is smarter than all of us. That's why they keep making $1 billion a month. Well, they're not smarter than cyber hackers right now, but that's beside the point.
That's right.
So I don't know. I just feel like, can you guys really name a favorite right now?
Outside of Denver, if you want to say Denver.
But it's just head and shoulders better, though.
No.
Right. Not really, no.
Like, there's not a dynasty right now in the NBA.
No, there's not.
Those teams that you think is going to rip off 2 to 3. It makes it exciting, though.
Right.
The NBA is going to be really exciting, and the playoffs next year are going to be fantastic with the way that the talent is spread out in the league.
Yeah.
You don't have those super teams.
I could
go ahead, Nestor.
I could see Jamal Murray getting hurt, and then Denver just falling flat.
Okay, well, okay. Jalen, you can't really talk. You want Tua to have CTE.
I do not want that. I'm saying that the other teams want that, hypothetically.
I'm saying it could happen.
Last thing on this real quick. Portland is still Portland. I mean, whatever. I mean, cool, they got Drew Holiday, but it's still Portland. Phoenix, though, is kind of interesting because, I mean, there goes their starting big man, and now it's like Nurkic is in there, and he's kind of injury prone too. I don't know. Phoenix is just like, what?
I don't know why they got involved in the trade.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
because they want to get rid of Aiden's salary. They wanted to get rid of him because he didn't fit into how they wanted to play, which was old and slow. and getting Vukovic from Portland fits right into that, old and slow.
Well,
I think how is old and slow going to help you when they're all going to be injured by January?
It's not. It's not. But and you forget there's a new owner there in Phoenix, and he's going to make a splash. New owners often make splashes that make no sense. I mean,
it's not so much a splash as they didn't get anybody in return. It's more like a dunk. Like you just submerge somebody with tying cinder blocks to them. I mean, just because they didn't know how to use Ayton doesn't mean that they shouldn't have kept him. They just should have figured out how to use him. It's just like the Seahawks. They trade for Jimmy Graham, and they didn't know how to use Jimmy Graham when he was still in his prime with Seattle. Didn't mean that it was bad to trade for Jimmy Graham and have him on your roster. It's just you as an organization couldn't figure out how to fucking use him. That's kind of on Phoenix and the coaching staff to figure out how to use somebody like Ayton. Get him involved in the offense so it's not just, broken nose Booker and skinny calf Durant there. I get wanting to get out of the contract, but at the same time I don't, because these owners are not hurting for money. I think at the end of the day, Phoenix made their team worse than
they did.
I agree.
To save some money.
And you're right. I mean, you hire coaches to coach. Players play, coaches coach. If you can't coach the players you have, then you can't coach.
Get another.
That's a fact. If you can't figure out how to use Ayton, then that's your fault.
Right.
I don't know. I just think that it's worse for Phoenix than anybody. I mean,
yeah,
it just that just baffles me. I don't know.
Strange, but hey, I don't think any of us are going to be losing sleep over the Suns because who here gives a damn about them? Let's get into the best segment of the show, the Ride or Die in 5. This is where you win some money this week. Let's
We were all winners.
Right, we were all well.
Well, not all.
There's a fifth person that was not included. That was not, but anyway, it's neither here nor there. Everybody here was a winner last week, so let's start off. We've got, of course, Malin leading the pack at 189 wins, 125 losses, plus 64. He was 3-2 last week. Then we've got myself, 199 wins, 158 losses, plus 41. I was also 3-2 last week. Nestor, 84 wins, 63 losses, plus 21. He was 4-1 last week. And then G Money, 105 and 89. He's plus 16, also 3-2 last week. So that's where we're all at.
You have Nestor being 3-2 in the.
Yeah, it's a typo there.
Oh,
he was actually 4-1.
Fuck you, Nestor. I'm glad your power is off.
Live in a cave, bitch.
I don't know if that says more about him than us. He lives in a fucking cave and he outdid me in the Ride or Die.
By one game.
Freaking throwing stick figures on the wall playing football and still picking winners.
Right now, all you see is Tula. So I'm in Sweden in a penthouse.
Yeah.
Let's get into the first game. We've got our first London game, 9:30 in the morning Eastern time this Sunday. We've got the Falcons and the Jags. Falcons 3-point underdogs. This will be the Pixar game, so make sure you tune in bright and early.
Wait, are you guys going to watch the Pixar version of it?
Oh yes, absolutely.
I am. I
might resubscribe just for that.
I'm all about it. Bunch of fucking Funko dolls running around there. It's gonna be great.
Should be fun. Nestor, what is your pick in this one?
I got the Jags bouncing back. Honestly, they need to. And I hear that London is a pseudo home game for them because for some god-awful reason they like the Jaguars over there. So, give me Jags to cover. There's nothing impressive about Atlanta. I don't know why I forget this man's name, but if he doesn't know how to. No, the coach.
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith is a fucking idiot. He doesn't know. This man is so. Imagine having the time to talk about fantasy, and you're a head coach. And yes, you're not using Kyle Pitts right. Yes, that's still a problem. And whatever. The passing game is not good. Yeah, they have a good secondary, but through that, this team is I don't know. It's not well coached. They have a decent running game, but they're not going to beat the Jaguars. Give me the Jags to cover -3.
All right. Malin?
Okay. I'm a little bit surprised that Nestor doesn't know why the Jaguars play every year in England. I'm pretty sure that Gary knows why they play every year in England. It's because Khan also owns the Fulham football club over there in England. So he has ties to Europe, and so that's why they go over there every single year. Okay, so the Jaguars and the Falcons. The Jaguars have underperformed. They have not. They were a lot of people's darling picks. They were supposed to be this great offense, right? It's not happening. There are issues with that offense. The Falcons' offense is better than the Jaguars' offense right now. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it nice and short for you. I'm going to take the Falcons with the +3 because I think Ritter is going to play just good enough. And I think good old Bijan there, number 7, which I don't know why I didn't even realize that he's wearing Michael Vick's number, but he is. So he's a new prime time over there in Atlanta, and I think that Atlanta is going to do just enough to win this game. But I'm taking them into +3.
All right, G-Money.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta +3. They've actually been surprisingly good on the ground. I mean, I don't know if, obviously Bijan. I didn't know how well he would do because you see running backs coming in out of college and they're highly touted, and then they kind of fizzle out. They just don't perform. He does, and they've got a good running attack. Passing wise, maybe not so hot. The defense is actually pretty solid, and Jacksonville has underperformed. And my God, will we stop sending the Jags to England? My brothers and sisters over there are tired of it. They're tired of watching a losing team. They don't want to associate with that losing team.
Hey.
They lose. They have a losing record there.
Hey.
Every year they're going to get them.
Don't they play 2 games over there these past couple of years?
They played 2 games this year.
I think. They played. The only year I think they haven't played was 2020. They played since 2013. They've played in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shahad Khan, man, he's wanting to get more England dollars over there. Well, not dollars. I don't know, euros, whatever the fuck they call it. He's
the
wanting
pounds
to
now.
Pounds
Separated from.
Yes, that's right. Yes, they said fuck that. We're our own people on our island. He wants all that money. He wants the Jaguars to be popular over there, but they're not because they're not winners.
They're not.
Gotta love it when this show gets into the politics of another country. I'm going to also take Atlanta in the points on this one. Yes, this is kind of a pseudo home game for the Jags, like Nestor was saying. The Jags are weird this year. I do think they'll get it figured out at some point, probably come later in the regular season, but this will be a close game. I still think the Jags will win, but I think it'll come down to the wire. And Arthur Smith will be at the podium again talking about nothing and another loss, but it will be a close loss at that. So I'm going to take Atlanta in the points. Bijan will have a good game. Kyle Pitts will not catch a ball. Drake London will not catch a ball. Desmond Ridder will probably throw one pick, and that's where we'll be. So
Kyle Pitts is going to give me 6 fantasy points, and Atlanta's going to win somehow. You guys are just going to leave me on that island.
You'll have to stay there.
If you put DeAndre Ayton on the Falcons, he'd somehow end up with more fantasy points than Pitts.
Next game, this should be a great one. 1:00 on Sunday, we've got the Dolphins going to the Buffalo Bills, where the Dolphins are 2.5-point underdogs on the road. Malin, what do you like here?
I don't. Okay, so I will say this. There's a little bit of respect, and I say little bit, marginal respect going to the Dolphins, because the home team always gets 3 points. Always. unless the opposing team is better than them. So the fact that it's 2.5 points, it's like someone's doing a little cap nod to them. But at the end of the day, I don't know what the hell they're doing with this point spread. I don't know how Miami isn't favored. Because yes, Buffalo is 2-1, but they haven't played great. Even that 37-3 win was not great. They weren't even playing like a really good team. So I don't understand it. Until someone shuts down that Miami offense, I'm gonna roll with Miami's offense every week until they give me a reason not to think about it. So outside of Tua having a concussion, Miami's gonna win this game. I'm taking Miami.
I'll just go real quick here. Everything you just said, ditto. I'm also taking Miami in the points. G Money.
Oh yeah, let's go with Miami in the points. The smart money is on Miami. The money line money is on Miami, and the straight up money is on Miami. And Josh Allen, I don't know, he's regressed. He is not the Josh Allen of last year.
He don't got Dayball anymore.
That could well be
the MVP whisperer.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And
Stop it.
He'll be whispering it really quietly as the Seahawks stomp the shit out of the Giants on Monday night.
There you go.
We're not at that game right now.
That was a little teaser.
I would just like to point out, really quick. I would just like to point out that G Money says that the smart money is on Miami, and we're all a bunch of fucking idiots. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to bode well for Nestor's Dolphins.
Well, you know,
that happened.
We'll just follow the smart money.
Right.
Man,
we'll do as we should. Why are the Dolphins going to win this game, Nestor?
Man, it's a good thing I still have 7% on my phone. Let me turn my camera off for this. Never mind. You can't see shit anyway.
Okay. Just remember there's no lights.
If this man tries to pick Buffalo, I swear to God, I'm going to drive down to Sarasota and beat his ass.
You imagine?
He's got to rub two sticks together to create a fire.
All right, so I was thinking, I don't know. Let me tell you, I was thinking about it.
You do know.
I was thinking about it, but I do know because let me tell you something. Last season, when we didn't have Tua, we lost by 3 points. You imagine losing by 3 points without Tua. I have Diggs on my fantasy team. This man is not, between him and Gabe Davis, I don't think you're seeing a lot of like that explosive offense. Still the same Josh Allen. His bad decision making. Yeah, he'll rush the ball. He'll show you some athleticism, but he's not that. I don't know. It's not showing me a whole lot. Who's our running back? James Cook, is that his name?
Yeah.
Not again good, but just not explosive. Not something great, outstanding. Yeah, they blew out the Commanders, but like I said, that was a team that had a lot of growing pains that they were taking in season over season. It's the Commanders. Who else did they beat? The Raiders. Like, come on. I think we have the good offense. Hopefully we get Waddle back. Tyreek Hill, you have Monster, you have A-Chain, you have so many weapons. Look at my profile picture. Unless Tua comes down and starts talking like, who's his man? Toy Story Mexican, in the third movie of Toy Story, when he just falls down, they reset his factory settings, and he gets back up talking Mexican. Unless that happens to Tua, we're not losing this game. We're winning this game. We're winning it. Tua has a quick. By the way, a lot of talk about that Bills defense and that pass rush. Tua has a really quick release in the league. I think one of the quickest releases in the league. He's gonna get it done.
I would just like to point out that this is Nestor's team. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't understand a single goddamn thing that he just said during that. Outside of Miami's going to win, that is the worst take I've ever heard.
I understood
Well,
that. That
because
was loud and clear to me.
Somehow he started talking about Mexicans. I don't.
it's because you haven't seen Toy Story 3.
I think
I
that
don't
was
know how-
two. I
Plus-
think that was Toy Story 2, but
I think Nestor's doing a little Pixar plug-in for the Jaguars.
Yeah.
I will like okay, like he did say, like Buffalo's offense is not playing good. Yeah, they scored 37 points, but they scored 37 points off short fields because of 4 interceptions. So they're not playing well. You see what that was, Nestor? That was actually called facts. That's
Hey.
we're not talking about Mexico, some third world dog shit country. That-
All I was saying, unless Tua gets a concussion, we're winning this game. We could possibly win it with Mike White. Great white
I
hype.
think you guys would win with Mike White, to be honest with you.
I'm not gonna say all that.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying it. I think if Tua went down in the first quarter, I think the Dolphins would still win that game.
Jesus.
How upsetting to Buffalo fans would that be? You lose the first game of the season to frickin' Wilson after you knock Aaron Rodgers out of the game in the first fucking series, and then you knock Tua out and you lose to White. It's like
you lose to 2 Jet quarterbacks that nobody wanted. That's the most Buffalo thing that could happen.
Yeah.
That could only happen to a team that loses 4 straight Super Bowls in the 90s.
All right, next game, we've got another divisional game between the Ravens and the Browns. This is in Cleveland. The Ravens are 3-point underdogs on the road. G Money, what do you like here?
Man, this is actually on paper. This really should be a good game. It really should. Baltimore is 14th in points scored. Cleveland is 11th. Total yards per game. Baltimore 13. Cleveland 9th. Freaking points against. Baltimore's allowing 18. Cleveland's allowing 10. I mean, it's a good game. It's going to be a good game. And I'm going to take Baltimore plus the 3 because I think this game is where Lamar Jackson outshines Deshaun Watson. I think Lamar rushes for probably like 125 yards and throws for 240. He'll rush for a touchdown. He'll throw for 2.
I'm going to second that. These AFC North divisional games are always a battle. But I do think that the Ravens will end up covering those, coming within the 3 points. I could actually see them winning this game just outright, but I will take Baltimore in the 3 points. The Browns defense is going to keep them in this game the entire time. But their offense, very questionable, especially Deshaun Watson. He's been just really up and down, a lot of down. And the Ravens coming off of a kind of a bad overtime loss. I think they're going to want to correct that. And they'll be they'll play tough and probably have to play tougher than they really need to just because it's a divisional game. And yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens and the 3 points. Nestor.
I get it. I get it with the worries about the Browns offense because they didn't look so hot over the past few weeks. They haven't looked good. But you know what? I picked that defense to take him over the edge and give them that W. I think Amari Cooper is going to do better as the season progresses. I have some high hopes for him. So give me the Browns to cover.
All right. Malin?
I'm taking the Browns too. I really like Ford in this offense. He is flashy, but he also has grit and substance. The Browns have the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL right now. And Baltimore's offense has not really gotten off the ground. You're looking at a Raven with a broken wing right now. Like, they are not looking good. Now, I do think that OBJ is supposed to be back this game. I think he's going to make his debut. But I like Cleveland's defense against Baltimore's offense in this game. And I think that Deshaun Watson and Ford will do just enough to win this game. So I'm going to go ahead and take Cleveland in this one. With the point.
Right. Moving on to the next one in the 4:30 window on Sunday, we've got my Patriots going to Dallas, where we are 7-point underdogs on the road, and the money line is a nice plus 625. You know, I'm gonna go first here. I'm taking our money line. Fuck the Cowboys.
I knew.
We are going to beat the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday. We got a little bit of momentum coming off of beating the Zach Wilson-led Jets in a absolute dog shit of a game. Cowboys are reeling a little bit, and I think Mac Jones is going to exploit the Diggs-less secondary of the Dallas Cowboys. Our offensive line, not great as of right now, but they improve every single week, and they will do a good enough job of keeping Micah Parsons and that defensive line off of Mac Jones and giving him just enough time to get the ball out. This will be a low-scoring game. I'm going to say we win probably 21-17-ish type game. And, taking New England's money line. It is what it is. Nestor.
I think the Patriots defense is going to make this game sluggish. It's going to slow the game down. I think Matt Jones is going to have some trouble, just because I know my Dolphins gave him some trouble with Van Ginkel and some other guys. So I expect Michael Parsons to definitely give him some trouble. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots took that W. I'll go ahead and get the points and give me the Patriots.
All right. Malin.
All right. You barely beat Zach Wilson. That's all I'm saying. You barely beat Zach Wilson. Dallas
snowball,
has
Malin.
No, you're not. The Patriots don't have Tom Brady. So you need to get used to the fact that you guys are a mediocre football team at best. I'm taking Dallas into points on this one. I think that, it's not going to be super high scoring. I think Gilmore is going to want to take a hoodie and shove it up Belichick's ass. The only thing that worries me about the game is Dak's decision making. But I think Dallas' defense is going to do a lot of what New York's defense did. But I just think that the Dallas offense is better than the Jets' offense. And so I think they're going to win by 7.
All right, G-Money.
I like New England and the 7. The one thing you can count on with New England is their defense. Offensively, they may not be ever as good as they were when they had Tom Brady at quarterback. But defensively, they have always been pretty damn good. And yeah, they beat a freaking shitty Jets team. But they also scored points on a Jets defense that was really good. And I don't know if McCarthy can get the Cowboys out of the, oh my God, we just got our butts beat by a high school team, and get them ready to play New England. Or if they're still pointing fingers at each other, going, well, if you had done this, and, calling out the coach. I'm just not. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to fuck games up they should win. They probably should win this game by 15, 20 points. They may only win it by 6.
Also, they held us. I mean, the Patriots held us pretty close. To be honest with you,
The
literally
Patriots have
by
a solid
fucking
defense.
inches.
I mean, that's one thing you can say about. I mean, when
Right.
you look at the Patriots,
Right.
you may look at their offense and go, the offense isn't really that good, and that has to do with drafting and maybe having a real offensive coordinator. But their defense has always been solid.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, let's just keep in mind that the Patriots, if the most points they've scored in a game is 20.
That's all we'll need.
They scored 15 points against the Jets. That's pump the brakes on that.
That is all.
Don't
we
be
will
salty
need.
just because you bought a Mac Jones jersey, Jalen.
Hey, this
Don't
Sunday,
be salty.
when we win,
Man, Kendrick Bourne, Hunter Henry, gonna go off.
let's move right along. Monday night, we've got the Seattle Seahawks going to MetLife to play the New York
Disrespectful.
Giants and the future MVP, Daniel Jones. Let's go ahead and see. Malin, pick'em game. Who are you taking here?
Oh, I'm taking the fucking Seahawks on this one.
There he is.
They got the worst O-line. No Saquon Barkley. Now, that's not this. Now, listen, we're going to win the game. Okay? It's a pick'em game, right? We might win it by 1 fucking point, but we'll win the game. Daniel Jones is going to end up with over 300 yards passing and a couple touchdowns because that's what our defense does. But we're also going to get after the quarterback on this one because just like we went after Carolina, like I said, Giants, worst O-line in the game. Daniel Jones isn't going to get a whole lot of rushing yards. We shut down the running game anyway, so he's going to have to throw the ball. We're going to make them one-dimensional. And Seattle's offense is cooking right now. They are cooking and scoring some points. And we're not even running on all cylinders. We're not even getting Smith and Jigma really involved in the offense much right now. Walker and Charbonnet are a great 1-2 punch at the running back position. DK Metcalf had a really solid game, kept his mouth shut, no personal fouls. Tyler Lockett's Tyler Lockett, and Geno Smith is doing what Geno Smith does. He runs a really good, solid offense. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and he completes a high percentage of his balls. So I'm going with Seattle to win this game on Monday night.
G Money.
Oh yeah, definitely Seattle. If you go position by position, and whether Saquon Barkley starts or not is irrelevant because he started last year up in Seattle and we shut them down. Because before them, we were giving up freaking 300 yards a game rushing. We shut them down to 82 yards. And that was when we didn't have the players we have now. Tariq Woolen's going to be back. Kobe Bryant's going to be back. Oh, and by the way, Jamal Adams is going to be back.
The Prez.
You said what?
Now, Adams won't be starting, but we well know that he's going to be coming in on the rush at times. And Daniel Jones has not shown that under pressure he can be accurate with the ball. And I don't think he's going to be. My guess is he lands up throwing for 187 yards, a touchdown, and 3 picks, and he's sacked 4 times. He rushes for like 45 yards. I know.
The Prez is going to make him his bitch.
I watched Wooten play last week, and how he closed and how he hit people. And I'm like, we're going to have some cornerbacks that are going to freaking close on you, take the ball away, and hit you hard. Hit you like your mama did when you took cookies out of the fucking cookie jar. That's how they're going to hit you.
I mean, I honestly think that the only way the Giants are going to get like decent drives going is if our defense is too aggressive and we end up getting some pass interference calls or something like that.
Yeah.
Because we do play pretty aggressive. So it wouldn't surprise me if we have a couple pass interference calls or 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. That could happen. But that's the only way that they're really going to be able to move the ball a whole lot, I think about.
Yeah, I'm going to also take the Seahawks here. I just can't see the Giants really doing much to win. Like, yeah, how this is a pick'em game is kind of beyond me. Without Saquon, what have the Giants? What have Daniel Jones shown you this year? Just like
one half of football against the Cardinals,
right? Like I just don't see why this
one
is
half
even that close. Vegas is always smarter than we are. I'll say that, but this is one of those where I don't know.
Even they're not laying a point spread on it. They're going like, don't know, could go.
Yeah.
I mean, usually the home team will get 3 points, home field advantage. Right. They're not even giving them that.
Yeah, the future MVP, he'll have a solid game and give Malin a reason to want to pull his hair out, but I think the Seahawks at the end of the day will walk out with a very one-sided win. Nestor.
All right, hear me out on this one. Just hear me out.
Oh boy.
Okay? The whole thing, just hear me out. It's a good thing I have 4% left. I'm not gonna turn on my video because if I turn on my video, my phone might die.
He's about to give us 15 reasons why he's going to pick the Giants, and then he's going to pick
future MVP Daniel Jones.
There it is.
Do not sleep on this man. One word for this: disrespectful. One word. I'll tell you why. I'm picking Seattle. How the fuck they have the Giants winning this game is beyond me. Daniel Jones might do his thing, but are you kidding me? Like, Lockett has some games where he just goes off. Gino is a hustler. Like, the disrespect is beyond me. Please just give me Seattle to win this game, and I hope they shut this team down because how they have the Giants, how some people are favoring the Giants, is just a little disrespectful. So yeah, give me Seattle.
I'll tell you what, I'll be breaking some shit outside of my patio if we lose this fucking game.
Malin, for your own sanity, I pray they don't. Because could you imagine TD? Lord have mercy.
No.
I will break all kinds of shit. I won't have any TVs left in the fucking house, and I got a lot of them in this goddamn house.
Even if the Giants do lose and Daniel Jones just has an okay game, TD is already going to be one thing. But if they somehow win, Lord have mercy. Anyway.
TD. Don't even get me started.
That's where we all stand this week. Just a quick recap. Nestor is on an island to take the Sunday morning game with the Jags. We are all agreeing on the Dolphins plus 2.5 points. G Money and I are with the Ravens and the 3 points against the Browns. Then I'm the only person, of course, taking the money line on my Patriots. Nestor and G Money are taking the Patriots and the points. Malin's taking the Cowboys to cover. And then we're all taking the Seahawks to win on Monday night. So that is where we're all at. We will see what happens. Anything else
If you
guys
like
want to
your
mention?
money, bet with me.
All right.
That's all I'm saying. And if these Mariners don't pull this fucking game out, down 4-3 at the bottom of the 6th, I'm gonna break more shit.
That's a show, folks.
Maybe Julio can get a hit here.
Next week when we come back at you, we will be officially a whole month
Can't
into the
even
season.
strap his fucking elbow thing on right. Sorry.
G Money, thank you again for joining us for yet another second half. We want to thank
Appreciate you guys having me.
We want to thank Apple Engineering for giving Nestor an entire battery's life of staying on this show. And
Somewhere.
The goats.
Can't fucking see him.
We will talk to you all next week. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.